Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Ultimate fans around the world. We're here in Washington, D.C. as Scandal takes on the All-Stars, continuing our coverage of the tour brought to you by 5 Ultimate and Eric. That's early recognition is critical. I'm Topher Davis taking you through the live broadcast here with special guest Scandal player Hulda Grunwald.
Hi, Topher. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'm happy you could make it. And Hulda, what are we expecting from some of the Scandal team today?
Well, Scandal's going to be especially fired up, given this is their home turf. Coming off of a pretty great weekend in Colorado with a tough loss in finals, so they've got a lot to prove out here today, especially playing a young, super athletic team. They've got to bring their full A athletic game today.
And if Scandal was paying attention to the Atlanta game, after a little break, the All-Stars came out and absolutely had a dominating performance in Atlanta. Trying to hope it'll continue into a 4-game playing streak that we have on. We're going to be playing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Well, as a current Scandal player not playing, I hope that's not the case, but it is so great to watch this college All-Star team be so incredible. You know, if we all had started playing this young, the sport would just be way different right now. And in 5 years and 10 years, it's going to be a completely different scene. So it's really awesome to watch Women's Ultimate be this amazing at such a young age.
Absolutely, and bringing it to every town. We're really hoping to inspire some of the local talent. Most of these games have had youth clinics going on beforehand. We have in the background, we have some youth soccer going on, so hopefully some of those kids will see what's going on over here, come over, and we can get some transfer athletes. A good soccer player is a great Ultimate player. Starting out the game, it looks like the All-Stars are on offense, although I don't really see any team with the disc.
Maybe they're going to play Red Rover.
Yeah, both players are signaling readiness.
Without a Frisbee.
Without a Frisbee.
This is not embarrassing at all.
Maybe the captains are going to bring it in together.
Oh.
Might have to do a lineup change as they were expecting an offensive line.
That's exactly what's about to happen.
Well, who did we just lose on the offensive line, and who are we gaining on the defensive line that we need to be watching for?
Molly Roy, Jenny Fay, Nina, Sarah Ito, Jess Mass just took one, and we've got Kristen Frankie, Beeses, Claire Rankton, Bambi, Jessie O'Connor, Molly Roy is back, Ito is back, and then maybe Hannah or Beach. Oh, looks like it's going to be... Maybe I should not call the line until they're set.
Yeah, Hannah Boone and Kimberly Beach coming on.
Well, no, Hannah Boone went off, so
left.
Molly Roy is back on.
Well, we got that settled. We're about to start with Scandal on defense. And this is also our first afternoon game of the tour. We've done a lot of evening stuff, and I wonder how they're going to handle the heat. Hasn't been a problem so far.
Well, this is the time of day that Scandal usually practices, so hopefully they'll be in their element. And the college players haven't taken a break from their season, so they're all in super good shape.
Now we have the pull-up, kind of going upwind, lands at half field, picked up by Walrus on the sideline. All-Star offensive line moving downwind. Schrader with the disc, and she takes a shot immediately to Kate Scarth. Player on her back, reels it in just outside the goal line, goes to the break side, and just misses Jessie Schaffner laying out. And a quick strike and a turn in the end zone. Scandal is going to have a chance for a break in the first point.
We've got Jessie O'Connor picking it up.
Yeah, O'Connor on the goal line, 70 yards to go. Can't get the up line reset. Still there. finds Frankie. Moving down that live side sideline. Still moving down the sideline. Boone with the disc. Needs a reset. Able to get the break though around, and they move it across the break side. First time switching the field with O'Connor to the center of the field, back to O'Connor. And she takes a shot upwind and off the fingertips and nearly reeled in. That's Kelly Highland, almost with the chance for a break, and tough shot for Scandal. Both teams with the turn, and Schrader now on the goal line. Gets it up to Schaffner, and Schaffner doesn't hesitate to try to hit Jacqueline Verjou going deep. And a downwind huck misses the target, but they got a lot of field position. Sometimes in those upwind downwind games, sacrificing field position and field possession for the field position is certainly worth it. Roy looking for a reset and a high count. Sends a blade up. No chance for Beach. Almost gets a hand on it, but she's making a tough catch. And now less than half field to go. Alika Johnston, the Scandal on the All-Star team, with the disc, centers it to Scarth. Scarth inside to Johnston. Johnston wants to go inside. Looks off with Kately and Schaffner. Now to Schrader. To Johnston. They're working that red zone set. And an inside backhand break to Walrus. Continues it on to Scarth. And the All-Stars were able to punch it in 1-0 after a long first point.
Those long first points are pretty indicative of maybe most games, but certainly the Scandal game. And it's great to start on defense because you sort of warm up and get all your kinks out. And it's just gravy if you score. But you certainly can wear the other team's offense out in the process.
Certainly. Do you think that Scandal is going to have a tough time with this wind? It looked like they were able to move it up their first possession and had a little trouble with the second.
Possibly. I mean, we don't usually play out in a field like this that has a lot of wind, and DC isn't known for having a lot of wind in general, but we're right on the Potomac, right by the airport, so there's more wind here than probably any other place we practice. And we're also missing Kath Ratcliffe this weekend. It's a great handler. We're missing Allison Maddox, who's also another handler. Sandy Jorgensen is away for the weekend, so we've got some key players not playing. However, we've got a pretty good roster here, so we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, a pretty good and condensed roster, just barely bigger than the All-Star Tour roster today, which should be interesting for a fair matchup. Now Scandal on offense, and Jenny Fay takes a deep shot immediately. Caught in the end zone, no problem. And I don't believe I have that player on my roster.
That is Kristen Grover. She is new, brand new to the roster. Joined the weekend of U.S. Open. Was not at U.S. Open, but got on the roster that weekend. And is coming to us from, she's currently going to law school in Seattle, or I think it's law school. And she played with Riot a couple years ago and is living in D.C. for the summer for an internship. So we've been fortunate enough to pick her up.
There's nothing like the community of Ultimate that you can travel to a different city and you automatically have a group of friends that you can just immerse yourself into. You play, I play. Let's be teammates and best friends all summer. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, it was definitely a good find for Scandal.
Well, Scandal just made short work of that offensive point off of a Jenny Fay huck, and we had Jenny Fay's name circled coming into this game. Is she going to be a big handler for this game and the rest of the year?
Jenny Fay is a very unique player in that she can put a Frisbee to any place on the field exactly whenever she wants, whatever throw. just when you don't expect it. And as a defensive player on Scandal, I often had to play against her on the offense, and it's not a very fun time.
Can be incredibly frustrating. I can speak as a defensive player myself. Good thrower's kill. Well, starting the opening pull with a handler moving up line, they get it to Scarth from the backfield, and Picathley throws a break around. Cousins is down that line, and she runs it out, toes the line. No observers to call her in or out. We are calling her in, and great rundown by Megan Cousins on that downwind side. They've been having a little bit of trouble with the Hucks, but a great read, great awareness to keep herself in the field of play. And a quick offensive point for the All-Stars puts them up 2-1.
Yeah, that was one of those throws that there was absolutely nothing defense could do about that except be behind her or right on her hip the entire time. And she caught that in the nick of time right inside the end zone. So,
yeah, and those throws from the All-Stars all coming to the break side. Picathley was just able to continue a deep throw to the break side, and that's all you need as a thrower. You can kind of put it up anywhere. Tight game so far, 2-1. All offensive holds as Sheena Titcomb sets to pull. Molly Roy stops and centers to Jenny Fay. A side stack to clear space, and there goes Groover again. Goes to the second reset option. They're really using the side stack open space and getting a cutter just streaking deep. Fay to Groover in the middle of the field. And trying to reverse rolls. Groover to Fay streaking deep, and Fay does it on both ends of the disc, gets downfield, and puts Scandal's second offensive point in no problem.
Yeah, I didn't mention that. That's another reason why she's very frustrating to play defense on. She likes to sneak away and go cut, and all of a sudden you have to cover a handler and a cutter, and it's very effective.
If some players would just stick to their roles, it'd be so much easier for us defenders. We game plan for you as a handler, Jenny Fay. Where are you going?
My favorite is slow handlers who don't cut.
That's defensive matchup's dream. So on 2 points for Scandal, Jenny Fay and Kirsten Groover has been part of both of them. Swapping out goals and assists. Game tied 2s. And we're kind of seeing a offense favoring the downwind team, or the team moving downwind. Though I don't think that's going to stay consistent all game. Kelly Highland to pull the disc, and it's floating and floats out of bounds. Erin Schrader, the D3 player from St. Benedict's, is going to bring the disc to the center of the field. She's been working as their center handler for most of this game. See a horizontal stack set up downfield.
We've got a saggy defense from Scandal. We sag off the handlers. Oh.
And Verju floats it out. Schaffner gets a read on it. What a play. Looked like it was going to get over her head, but she turns around, finds the disc, and tears it out of the air. That's another one of those role reversals where Verju is usually the one in the end zone, as Schaffner likes to throw the ball deep, but all these players are so dynamic on the All-Star Tour. We can switch it around, no problem.
We'll see if Scandal has an answer to that very swift point.
What do you guys think? I was gonna make
3-2 as all teams hold on their offensive points. And since that first point, I don't think we've seen a turnover happen. Just hucks from both lines. And do you think the long game, is that what's going to happen?
It's working for both teams. So one of them has to start playing defense, or it's just going to be a trading of points for a while.
Right, and you mentioned the sagging defenders, sagging in the lane on the handlers.
That's right.
But
that's right. And tight, really tight man downfield is often the prescription that we're sent with out there. Great big pull.
Yeah, great pull-up win. Fielded just outside the goal line. Now centers to Faye. 2 cutters streaking deep and move it to the sideline into the stack. And a drop going under. Sarah Ito can't get her hand on it. And it's going back as a foul on the throw. Uncontested. Looks like it's coming in on 0. Megan Cousins marking Jessica Mast over there. Now Mast gets it up to Faye on the sideline. Gets the around throw in the center of the field.
Caitlin Redding is known for her huge ups, and that was one of them.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to go right over her head. Nice and tall cutter, keeps it alive. At Faye in the center of the disc, wants to take a strike at the end zone, only looking downfield. Now finds Redding. Scandal really having to work at that time, and on their first shot to the end zone.
Looks like it was a miscue. Just
yeah.
Cutter wasn't there.
Mass was on the corner, but that one popped up over her head. And the first chance for a break for the All-Star Tours. Erin Schrader bringing the disc up. She's been playing offense, and now on the defensive side, maybe they want some more handlers to face this upwind when they get it. And Schrader gets it up line to Normile. And Normile unleashes to Leathers. She's got a player on her back, able to keep her there. Reels it in, no problem. Just 15 yards outside the end zone. Gets to Lim in heavy traffic. Miscue is coming out, has it in the middle of the field. All-Stars getting into a vertical stack. Schrader gets it and continues to the break side, and Megan Cousins to the break side cone. Gets her second goal and the first break for the All-Stars. They're up 4-2 early in this half. An unfortunate miscue from Scandal. They miss it as they take their first shot at the end zone, and give the All-Stars some credit. They really made them work under that disc, that point, where both teams had been favoring big downfield shots.
Well, this is that defense we just talked about, that one of the teams has got to start playing to stop the long game. So looks like the All-Stars did exactly that, and we'll see what Scandal can answer with. We got the Scandalo on again. We've got Nina, Hannah Boone, Jessie O'Connor, Shino Yoshin, Jenny Faye, Kristen Frankie, and Kelly Highland, or Beezes, as she's called.
Well, that pull sails out of bounds.
Jessie O'Connor on the pickup. She's going to take it to the brick. Looks like they're running just a normal spread horizontal.
Tourist defense is sagging in the lanes off the handler a little bit on that live side. And a little poachy in the wall on the cutters.
There's that perfectly aimed blade. from Jenny Fay.
And a point block as Fay trying to go the around. Cousins gets a hand on it. Cousins is having a great game as she gets in the end zone for her 3rd goal and her 2nd break. Call that bookends for Megan Cousins from Colorado Colley. Plays on Molly Brown that was against Scandal in the finals of the Colorado Cup just last weekend. Maybe she's still got some unfinished business as that finals game was rained out, or rather lightninged out in Aurora, Colorado. Scandal doesn't look deterred, though. No timeout after their 2nd break. Most teams usually like to take a little strap break there.
Don't worry, they probably have a better plan.
I'm going to guess it has something to do with Jenny Fay throwing the ball deep. Now, Scandal is the team that has won the USA Ultimate Club Championships the past 2 years, 2013, 2014. But people are kind of worried about them this year. We'll see how their offense responds. Jenny Fay has it in the middle of the field. Looked like a miscue and another point block, but it stays in the air. And now they take a shot to the end zone. Alika Johnson is there, and the pressure. Oh, wow!
Wow. So we had it going. Kristen Frankie tipped it. Jenny Fay came for the cleanup, laid out for a great catch. Scandal really needed that.
I didn't even
kind of energy that any
see
team
Jenny
needs.
Fay in the back of the end zone. After that disc got tipped, I thought it was looking like another break, and what a heads-up play. You think that was part of the better plan without the timeout? Just get Jenny Fay downfield to the end zone.
I'm sure they planned that MAC play.
Great awareness by Jenny Fay. Keeping it in. And brings the score 3-5 in favor of the All-Stars. Who's going to make it happen for that defensive line for Scandal?
So we've got Bees is on the pull, Molly Roy, Price, Rankton, Frankie O'Connor, and Boone running down for the D. Looks like they're going to match up on man.
Moves
They've
to the
got to
backhand
protect that
sideline
deep space.
quickly. Lisa Picaithley unleashes an outside-in backhand, and Kate Scarth runs it in 2 passes, and they're in the end zone. Back to that downwind deep game. Great connection. Lisa Picaithley from UC Santa Barbara and Kate Scarth, University of Victoria. 2 West Coast players showing how it's done over here on the East Coast.
It's obvious that Scandal is missing their main deep defender this weekend, and Sandy Jorgensen. She's so heavily relied upon that they're probably not putting anyone as last back, which is often done with Sandy.
Right, Sandy Jorgensen is a player we were all really excited to see, and then found out she wasn't going to be on the roster.
I'm sure that made the All-Stars happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I breathed a little sigh of relief. I remember last year at Club National, Sandy Jorgensen had one of our favorite highlights on the weekend, where she had a huck thunder and just ran past her defenders as she was 5 yards behind, caught up to the disc in the back of the end zone. Just incredible speed from a female player.
Is that where she hurdled the the advertising thing out the back of the end
Oh,
zone?
it might have been. I think she jumped it and kept on going, and we didn't see her until
The next day.
the championship game.
Yeah. Grover's got it to Mass. Sounds like there's a call on the field.
I think a pick call on the field. Just had a little bit of discussion about whether or not it affected the dump throw.
Back to Grover. She's on the sideline. Mass looking for a round. It's not there. Probably going to find an IO. Ito's.
Megan Cousins with the block on the up line. Cousins absolutely dominating this game. A point block, a downfield block, 3 goals. Let's see if she can cap off her 4th. As Steph Lim bringing the disc to the corner. Having to go 70 yards for another break. Steph Lim gets it to Franklin in the middle of the field, who continues across the field to Leathers. Wow, Margot Sturt goes up early, gets her hand in front of the defender and keeps possession, and a call downfield stops the play. We'll be back in, no problem. Oh, it's going back to Hannah Leathers just outside the end zone. So I wonder if it was a pick before the swing pass. Sturt's catch all for naught. And trying to go backfield, Jacqueline Verjou almost gets a layout to keep it alive, but Faye on the goal line goes around.
There's that perfectly aimed blade from Jenny Faye to Nina in the end zone. Sorry, not Nina, Nada.
Yeah, and defensive pressure from Scandal gets them a short field to work with. Great job.
I just realized I think I've called her the wrong name like 3 times.
And she's your teammate?
Definitely not embarrassing at all.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. I think we will all get over it.
She is brand new this year, so I don't know. I'm trying to find something to help me out there. The defensive lineup is Molly Roy, Jessie O'Connor, Hannah Boone, Kristen Frankie, Kimberly Beach, Beezes, and Sarah Ito.
Scandal's D-line has yet to get a break. They're still down 2. Facing the All-Stars at 6-4.
They really have to get on there fast, match up on man, and they've got to leave someone back to take that last back, or they're going to just keep getting punished by those deep puts.
And we've yet to see a true zone look from Scandal. They're a little poachy off the handlers, but they haven't really switched to a full cup and a deep. They got to wonder when that defensive switch is going to happen. On offense, we have Tick come in the middle of the field. And, yeah, we see more of a true zone. Maybe now it's transitions as Verjou going to Alika Johnson. She's got it just outside the end zone. Flips the inside backhand to Jesse Schaffner. And Alika Johnston, the Scandal player that they're missing right now, is able to get the assist on a deep shot from Jacqueline Verjou and a quick flip into the goal.
Yeah, that's definitely not helping the Scandal side of the roster today, with Alika being on the other side. She's been one of the key players for Scandal the last couple of years. At just a recent college graduate, she's just been an incredible player. Coached by Jenny Faye when she used to be in high school.
That must have been here in Arlington, Virginia.
It was just a couple miles away from here.
We're fortunate enough to be staying at the Johnston's household. They're very grateful that they're hosting us. It's been a wonderful stop here in DC. Unfortunately, we only get a little less than a day.
And where are you off to next?
Off to next, tomorrow we're going to be playing in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, New York, Boston, as we round out the tour in 4 quick games. Trying to get an early jump. 7-4 as this defensive line could break into half. The Scandal offense gets underway.
We got Caitlin Redding cutting for a long put from Nada.
Steph Lim definitely giving up a lot of inches out there to Redding, but she gets in front and holds her back until the disc gets down enough for Slim to knock it away. Steph Lim has been a big handler on the turn for this all-star team. And Titcomb stretching deep. Megan Cousins losing her defender.
It's an uncharacteristic drop on Cousins' part. Quite a gift for Scandal at this moment. We'll see if they can hold possession. Big huck from Jenny Fay to Kristen Grover. Oh, what a great layout. And just missed it, but good look into good space. Just didn't connect that time.
Yeah, and good job attacking quickly. All-Stars looked like they were trying to stay back, keep someone to stop that deep space, but once Gruvall got past Sturt in the backfield, Faye had no hesitation letting it rip. Now it's 70 yards. Sturt with the disc on the sideline. Gets it upfield to Leathers. Quick flip to Normile. Trying to go upfield to Steph Lim. That one hits the turf. And Jenny Fay to pick up, trying to keep this offensive hold going. Redding a backfield up to Fay. Schrader nearly gets it. And another quick score, not a quick score. After the upline, a quick throw to find the open receiver, Shino Yoshin. Scandal gets to see another point this half, 7-5.
The fresh legs of Scandal's defensive line are going to take the field. See if they can get a break. Again, they're going to have to watch that deep look, but also be closer on those in cuts because they're playing some amazing athletes today, and the All-Stars have something to prove.
The All-Stars facing an offensive point to take them into half. They've been doing pretty well since their first one, had a couple miscues, but since then it's been smooth sailing. Holland with the pull, gonna land near the sideline, just past half field. Alika Johnston with it and gets to the center of the field with Caithley. And trying to find Schaffner. Great defense by Beezus. Kelly Highland gets a hand on the disc. And a deep look from Frankie trying to get downfield. That disc is tipped by Verju. Goes out the back of the end zone.
That was a great up the line cut from Kristen Frankie to her signature look deep. Good look to good space. Also great defense, and that's just what happens sometimes in these points.
Certainly, and the defensive line didn't lose a lot of energy. They got the disc on a great play early in the point, and I think taking that quick shot, making the All-Stars work the full 70 again, not a bad look. Salika Johnson with it in the center of the field. Goes around to Picathley on the sideline. They're still working that break side sideline. And Verju gets blocked
by Hannah Boone. You know, it's not often that Hannah Boone gets a matchup that's the same height of her as her, and actually she might even be, number 22 might even be taller.
Just a little, but Scandal gives it right back, and since all players were upfield of the disc, Haley Walrus is able to pick it up, and Lisa Picaithley is downfield of everyone. Had a defender there, but just not enough as Walrus drops in a great outside in flick. And Lisa Picaithley doing the inchworm celebration. Just really firing up her team out there as they get this offensive hold to take them into half, 8-5. Well, great first half here in Washington, D.C. We hope you stay tuned for the ending as the All-Stars take on returning national champions, back-to-back national championships, D.C. Scandal. I'm Topher Davis here with Hulda Grunwald. Be sure to tune in 10 minutes. Welcome back to the All-Star Ultimate Tours game against DC Scandal, brought to you by 5 Ultimate, and early recognition is critical. Eric, I'm Topher Davis as this poll starts out in the second half, rolling out of bounds. I'm here with Hulda Grunval. We'll bring you all the action.
Jenny Fay on the pickup, just shy of half field. She takes it on the sideline.
We see a zone, a pretty decent cup coming from the All-Stars.
A great catch by Jessica Mast. A nice around to Sarah Ito. Looking for something on the inside. Chooses the around instead to Molly Roy. Upfield to Jessica Mast. Scanning, looking. There's Jenny Fay on the around. Ito for the continue. And Nada going long. Let's see if she can pull it out. The wind just took that a touch too far, but it's exactly what Scandal needs, is to open up that offense and go for those shots when they're there.
Yeah, and they took that shot at the exact right time. It was the transition from zone into person. They had an advantage of a cutter going deep. Just missed it with a throw. And coming into the second half, All-Stars have a chance to break and extend this lead to 4. Steph Lim on the goal line immediately goes around to Verju, who didn't have a defender, and she sends it deep to Scarth on the end zone line. They have no problem working it. Now needs the reset. Inside to Lim. To middle to Brereton. Backfield to Johnston. Just outside the end zone. They finally settled down.
Got Molly Roy on the mark, really putting the pressure on. Jessica Mast guarding that dump. Oh, and Nada was so close on the D.
The long hands of Beck
See if she can
Brereton
keep the force on.
Keep it alive for the All-Stars. And a backhand to the fourth side.
Oh, and there was a tie. I think, looks like they sent it back very quickly.
Yeah, I think Cousins was calling a strip. Jenny Fay wastes no time to contest and just send it back. No reason to talk too long about it if both players are going to think that they're right. Otherwise, why would they have made the call? Now Johnson gets it to Cousins. Brereton in the end zone. Beats her defender to the live side cone, and a break to start the game for the Tourists. Not the game, the half for the Tourists. And they have an 9-5 advantage.
And on the replay, it looks like
we're getting another look at the strip call.
Wow, that was really close to a tie. It's hard to tell even from that camera angle.
It's definitely a good moment where
Probably
they make the call and it goes too quickly.
Exactly.
That one is close. We can't even tell here in the booth. Now Scandal's offensive line has to work upwind.
We've got Molly Roy, Kristen Grover, Caitlin Reddig, Sarah Ito, Jenny Fay, Nada, and Jess Mast to receive, and we'll see what they can come out with on offense.
Gina Titcomb with the pull. She's been doing great pulling upwind on this downwind. It's catch of the wind going. And can't tell if it goes out the back. It might have hit in first. Jenny Fay is going to pick it up. It looks like she's just going to walk it to the front of the end zone as it hit in the end zone and rolled out the back. Great placement of the pull from Gina Titcomb. A long 70 yards for Scandal right now. They open up with a flood play to clear it.
A pick on the field. Looks like it was downfield involving Sarah Ito's defender.
Scandal, who's been playing mostly a side stack with a open lane for the cutters, going now in more of a center. Redding at a high count. Tough mark by Sturt, but she gets it around.
It's a great grab by Molly Roy and so much traffic. Ito's looking for the deep. Doesn't look like it's there.
Takes a safe reset to Faye. And that one is continuing to roll. Faye was going to pull back her flick, and it just slips out of her hands. That certainly happened, and that's a tough time for it to happen. Rolls all the way to the other sideline, gives the All-Stars a couple yards even, and they move quickly, going just across the length of the field in 4 passes. Cousins now with the disc and gets a high backhand downwind. Verju gets open to the back cone, no problem. And an unfortunate mistake from Faye leads to a second break and 2 points for the All-Stars.
And the good thing about Scandal this year is little mistakes like that are easily laughable, and everyone does, which is great. We're not seeing much judgment from teammates or even the coach for mistakes like that are just unfortunate. There's no amount of training or skill involved. It's just an unlucky thing that happened. So looks like they're back on offense. They'll take a deep breath and try again.
The last time Scandal was going on this offense downwind, they faced up against a pretty heavy zone from the All-Stars. I can say it was effective because it got the turn. It slowed them down a little bit. And I think so far in this game, Scandal's offense has been best when they were able to get quick shots on the offensive point. Slowing it down has really been to the advantage of the All-Stars.
It's something Scandal's worked on year after year, and probably most teams do this, is try to figure out the balance between quick disc movement and good decisions. And definitely it's advantageous to the offense to move the disc faster.
Let's pull from Titcomb.
Looks like Jesse O'Connor is going to pick up.
Out at the brick mark. Looks to be a hard person defense. And can't get the upline pass to O'Connor.
Another miscue on Scandal's offense. A couple people running, assuming the other would be there.
Here we see a lot of people flood the open sideline, but Steph Lynn goes back to the backfield, wide open for the reset. She gets it over to Normal. Now they're going quickly, Picately to Leathers to Lim. She wants to go backfield on the around.
Yeah, Sarah Ito with the run through D.
And she's got plenty of space. Faye hasn't thrown it yet.
Looks like Faye is going to harness. It's probably a really good decision on her part. Ito was really deep by the time Faye got that anyway.
Now Ito's made her way back in the handler position. She takes a deep shot. Faye gets caught behind.
For the score. I think that was all planned. What do you think?
That's a lot of pages in the playbook if they're planning that. You had to have Ito run all the way to the end zone and back. And
that's actually the lethal weapon of Scandal, is that you've got players like Ito and Faye who both can throw it long and both can run and be, valid threats in both the handler and the deep position. So,
yeah, and I'm very impressed by that throw from Sarah Ito. Something that one of the All-Star teammates, Chyna Titcomb, said to us at halftime was that Scandal was really throwing it deep to throwing those hucks from the same third of the field, which is a defender you don't expect and sometimes can be hard to defend because you think you're in the right position. That one was from Ito to Faye on that backhand side, and not only was it in the same third, but they're going on that downwind, and she was able to get enough loft on it without sending it out the back of the end zone.
It's so nice to hear the silver lining of the same third. I'm not sure the coach would agree with you right now. This is probably reinforcing bad habits, but yes, the same third often comes on Scandal's offense.
You know,
Much to the
if your
chagrin
team
of the
can
coaching.
expect it, then that can be something that works. I wouldn't coach it to my team. Let's just say that.
It's not coached to scandal. Don't worry.
But when it works and when the defenders aren't expecting something, you know, that can be an offensive strategy.
We'll go with that. Bees is on the pull. It's floating. It gives defense plenty of time to get down and match up.
And now we see a side stack from the All-Stars, but a pretty heavy junk look. Really keeping players in the center of the lane. But Alika Johnson DeVerju there now kind of tearing it up. Looks like they're going into that person defense. Scarth and Schaffner on that forehand side. Schaffner gets it around center field to Alika, continues it around to Scarth. Her defenders playing upfield, trying to get something poachy.
Jesse O'Connor on the dump to Alika. That's a matchup we've seen over and over at practice. Unfortunately, they're on different rosters this game.
And that one goes to Alika Johnson. Up line on the dead side. A tough throw from Kate Scarth. And we're kind of seeing the downwind assist those backhands. She was just able to get it up. O'Connor was in great position. But I think Alika Johnson had her on her back, and if the disc got in front, there's nothing you can do as a defender. I'd like to remind the viewers at home again of our partner Eric and of the three main pillars of the Eric mantra. Eric is early recognition of critical, trying to really instill the idea that if we catch cancer early and especially get kids aware of the cancer symptoms early, that we're all going to have a better chance fighting it and beating it. The three pillars of Eric are be active, be aware, and be prepared. And we do a lot of camps and getting Ultimate into middle schools to really enforce that be active part.
It's a really unfortunate drop by Sarah Ito. She's got the up. She had the timing. It was a great cut. Sounds like there's a call downfield and maybe a turnover at the same time.
Well, this should be one of those interesting situations. Leathers and Ito, where Leathers was making a cut, a lot of body contact with Ito. She called a foul, and it was right around the same time as the throw. Now, this is different than, say, if she had called a pick and there's one continuation throw that wouldn't be affected with the play. It'd be a continuation in any way, but with the foul call and an uncontested foul call, All-Stars get a chance at it. And Gina Titcomb going down the sideline, trying to find Megan Cousins. She lays out and can't keep it in bounds. Fair foul on that. I think it's kind of okay. They had a free chance with the foul call and the turnover.
And there wasn't much discussion at all on Scandal's part. They sent it right back. Jenny Fay with the disc on the front cone of the end zone, having to work at 70 yards.
A lot of players in that dump reset spot.
Big bomb to Sarah Ito, just a little bit too far. The wind is taking every disc in that direction and not doing Scandal any favors this game.
You could hear the crowd trying to give energy into Ito's legs as they were hoping that disc was going to be completed. Home crowd here trying to bring their Scandal team back in. I'm sure they'd love to see a win from their home squad.
Yeah, if Scandal wants to turn this game around, they need to make D's.
And that's not the way to do it. They
really
left Margot
chilly on
Sturt wide
offense.
open, and she continues up line. Beck Brereton able to get it in. the pseudo twins on the team. Margot Sturt from UCLA, Beck Brereton, our international transfer from Australia. Both late additions to the roster, but both doing a great job on the defensive side. Big, tall players. And they've been wonderful on this all-star squad.
So our coach, Scandal's coach for today is Amy Wickner. Doesn't look like she has timeouts on the brain. I'm not sure that would be a great time for one anyway, but in general, Scandal hasn't taken any timeouts this game.
Just seeming to let the offense run. They're facing quite the deficit now, 12-6 in the second half.
And on the offensive side, we've got Nada, Kristen Grover, Jenny Fay, Caitlin Redding, Jess Mast, Beeses, and Molly Roy. They're going to really need to focus, maintain possession, and take the 100% looks.
An outside end roller pull. It's picked up by Fay in the middle of the field. Didn't lose too many yards. Highland with the disc.
On the around to Jessica Mast, just out of the reach of Kristen Grover. Bees is on the mark. This is where Scandal really needs a stop.
Losing a lot of yards, but Johnston gets it right back as she gets an upfield to Picathley, and Picathley reaching deep to Schaffner. Great throw, great read. Picathley to Schaffner, and another break for the All-Stars. Are just running away with this second half. And just as we're talking about Scandal's refusal to take a timeout, looks like they're going to slow down the game and see what they can do to finish this off strong. And their timeout, we're going to take a timeout as well. And we'll be back in about a minute and a half with the finale of this game. Welcome back. We are live here in Washington, D.C. It's me, Topher Davis, here with Hulda Gronval at the Scandal versus All-Star Ultimate game brought to you by 5 Ultimate, and early recognition is critical. This game has been all All-Stars in the second half. Scandal's only been able to punch in 1 offensive point so far this second half, and have just been facing a barrage of breaks.
Yeah, Scandal needs to step up the energy and take the game a little bit more seriously if they want to extend this game longer than 4 more points or 3.
Pull from Chena Titcomb.
Kristen Frankie's picking it up to Jenny Faye. Scanning, looking. Shino's trying to cut long. Bees is for the under. Jenny Faye finds Ito long. We'll see if it can be completed. Those are some amazing wheels.
Great
So
speed by
unfortunate.
Ito there. Exactly what the Scandal offense, I would assume that's exactly what they want. They had Faye in the middle of the field, Ito streaking deep with yards on her defender.
That was
and
perfect.
The throw hung up there. Had no idea how it was going to end up.
When you can see the flags on the sideline, the wind is for sure in that direction. It's been pretty tough. Jenny Faye got a D.
Gets it back on the upline throw. It floats in the air, and now a short field for Scandal. And
Bees is to Shino coming into the cone and the end zone for a quick score. And Scandal really needs this to stay in the game.
Yeah, great pressure D to get it back from Jenny Faye, and that's again the type of strategy where maybe taking a deep shot, taking that risk. It wasn't a huge risk. You had a great receiver and a great thrower with the disc, but then just clamping down on using the wind at your back really gives the defense an advantage, and they're able to put it in.
Yeah, there's really no disadvantage to punting it deep with the wind like this in such an upfield, downfield, upwind, downwind game. But we're going to expect exactly the same thing from the All-Stars here. So Scandal's defense is Molly Roy, Jessie O'Connor, Kimberly Beach, Kristen Frankie, Bambi or Miss Price, Claire Rankton, and Kelly Highlander Beezes. We've certainly got speed on that line.
Yeah, that speed is going to have to match up with the all-star lineup of Erin Schrader, Kate Scarth, Lisa Picatley, Jessie Schaffner, Haley Walrus, Jacqueline Verju, and the home crowd favorite, Alika Johnston.
Oh, she's a favorite for so many reasons.
Johnston receives, and a little miscommunication between Walrus and Schrader is who's going to get the centering pass. Walrus has it, goes inside, and what a catch from Picatley. Reaches behind her, and she unleashes a forehand, but great speed by Highland, knocks it down. And their defensive line earns the disc and a chance for a break for Scandal.
Jessie O'Connor to pick it up. This is really a tough spot going into the wind from the sideline. 70 yards to go, but we'll see what Scandal can do.
Trying to go across the field, able to get it, and they go all the way back again. Johnston almost has a hand on the disc. Gets to O'Connor.
It's so fun to see them laugh about that on the field. The battle between Jessie O'Connor and Alika Johnston.
And O'Connor.
Kimberly Beach calls for it. Hopefully stays out of the reach of the defender.
Yeah, it's a great move by Beach coming back to the disc as it was going to land short. She had the yards and really came back, and quick throw. A lot of confusion from the All-Stars where the matchups were. And the first break of the game from Scandal.
That's really amazing that it took this long, because this is usually what Scandal starts a game with, is a break like that. And you're right, Topher, that's the first break we've seen out of Scandal, and it was exactly what I'm used to watching.
Yeah, they had a couple tough throws. It was, I don't know, it was a strange offensive possession afterwards. They went like across the field. They had a couple tough, nearly got blocked by Johnston. The huck downfield wasn't perfect, but Beach was able to make a good play on it. They can get more. I think they can get more blocks. They just need to really smooth out that offense, and they'll start rattling breaks off, no problem.
It's so great to hear commentary on the Scandal defensive offense. I'm usually the one playing it, and We like to think there's a lot of things planned about it, but there's not.
It's always tough. You're never in a good position because you're usually like picking it up on the corner with all the offensive players just turn defense set up. It can be a tough battle. That one especially going upwind, but now Scandal D-line has the D at their back, the 8th defender. Has the wind at their back.
Got it. We all got it. It's all good. At least you know everybody's name. You know, our coach still doesn't get everybody's name right. That's kind of a running joke.
It can be tough. Players rotate every year, you know. You never get the same team.
Yeah.
Well, the All-Stars are working it upwind, no problem. Is Johnson in the center of the field. Nice inside break to Scarth. And they're Real quickly. Walrus to Schaffner. Schaffner to Picathley. Picathley checking her feet. She's catching it right on that goal line.
Looks like the Scandal player called her not in.
Taps it back in. Couple inches out. Push pass to Walrus, and that one surely must be in. If Picathley was on the line, just another inch to Walrus. And their offensive line able to hold. Doesn't feel the pressure after one break. And they take the game to game point, 14-8. Well, after this game, the All-Stars will be continuing to Philadelphia to play Green Means Go. But DC Scandal still has a stop on their tour as well. They're going to Minnesota, and what do you think they're expecting in that final tournament of the regular season?
You know, Minnesota is going to bring back some memories because that was where U.S. Open was last year, and Scandal went into that as its first tournament after winning the prior year Nationals, and it didn't go very well for Scandal, but now U.S. Open's behind Scandal, and so is Colorado Cup. So they've got some good practice under their belt, and they've hopefully worked out some chemistry kinks. And it's going to be a really competitive tournament. So I think they have to run with the system, do what they've talked about, do what they've practiced. And it'll set them up for how they're seeded going into Nationals. Or how they're seeded going into the series, rather.
Can't speak too early. Got to get through that region first.
Exactly. That was a great put by Grover. Faye finds the long cut. Caitlin Redding. Looks like it's a score.
Smooth offense from Scandal going upwind.
You know, Scandal has a really bad habit of taking an entire game of tournaments, the first game, to get into it. And a one-and-done game like this, there's not enough time to do that. And they're finding that out the hard way right now, it being game point for the next however many points they can hang on to this game. But that was great to watch, a clean Scandal offense like that.
Yeah, Scandal will need to score 6 points to the All-Stars 1 if they want to somehow bring this game back. And, yeah, as you had mentioned, that the showcase aspect, the single game aspect, can be a tough transition to make. Sometimes it's jitters, but as you're saying, it's getting up to their top speed of the game. These All-Stars now 6 games in, they're a little bit more ready to go from the start and have usually been opening up games on defense with a break, or at least a break opportunity, because most teams are still warming up into that first point.
I think what this showcase does for the sport is it's going to give every single one of these women the confidence going into important games of a tournament, or that first game of a tournament, or whatever it is, without any sort of stage fright or, you know, jitters from playing in front of a crowd. And this is an experience that nobody has gotten on the women's side, because there isn't a league like this where you play competitive single games once a week.
Yeah, and
mean
Johnston
give and
and
go
Schaffner
by
just
the All-Stars.
40 yards eaten up real quick to Titcomb just outside the end zone. To Johnson, and she goes back up line to Schrader. Johnson still up line. Runs into Picathley just outside the end zone. Schrader wants a hammer. She takes it. Scarth is there. And Erin Schrader to Kate Scarth ends this game on an exciting hammer point. Great game from the All-Stars. Great game from Scandal, but All-Stars just took away with it in the middle part of the game and never looked back.
That was such a fast offensive point with so many touches from the All-Stars. Big smiles from Scandal as they do high fives.
Well, quick work of this game from the All-Stars. Their second blowout in a row.
Hey, no.
Second large win in a row. And they're going to try to keep this momentum going into Philadelphia tomorrow. Scandal has got to think about this game. They'll have some nice film to go back and watch as they'll be heading to Minneapolis in August 21st and 22nd.
Yep.
This broadcast, of course, brought to you with the help of all our operators, our camera operators, Tyler Cable, Mario Bundy, and Angela Toki. Instant replay operator, Suni Haley. Director, Vin Bowie. Executive producer, Kevin Menderhout. We couldn't have done it without our partners, 5 Ultimate and Eric. I'm Topher Davis. I've been here with Hulda Grunwald.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks a bunch.
This was so fun.
It's been a great game. Be sure to catch us as we continue in our last 3 games of the All-Star Ultimate Tour. Vin, take us out.